Oh, that cutscene was so damn long I thought I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4 again for a moment. But no, it's still Tra, and we are in the Temple of Kamoon. Ooh, ominous. Alright, so when you do the time trials for this level, real quick before I get in depth on anything, or start derailing, as tends to happen. So this is pretty problematic on the time trials, right? Due to a middle portion of this level, which we'll get to here in about 15 minutes or so, give or take, rough guesstimate. But right here at the beginning, you can shave off about 30 seconds, sometimes 45, depending on how fast you can, or how it normally, what's the word here? How can I phrase it? Here's a good way to shave off some time from a time trial. How about that? So we've got one way out of this room, but there are two ways to get there, even though it only looks like there's one to most people. Now, not a lot of people know about this little secret, which is why I'm kind of showing it off right here. So what you want to do is grapple the column on the left, and as soon as it starts to lean, go ahead and let go of the grapple. So let's pull this back. There we go. And now we can jump, and jump, and boom, shaved off some time. And now we are free to exit this area. But we're not going to do that in this particular playthrough because there's a couple of goodies down here for us. But there's your time trial secret. So right back here, what do we got? What do we got? Oh, is that? Could it be? It's a mini med pack. And shotgun shells that... Oh, actually, I may be able to pick those up now. Look at that. I've got full ammo on those, even though I drained it in the boss battle in the last episode. Interesting. So now we'll go out the intended way, because that's our only option at this point. And here's more proof that if you've got enough leverage behind you, you can pull down anything. Great sound design for that, by the way. This is the set of levels, these Egyptian levels, where I think the audio design really steals the show, which probably wasn't supposed to be the case, but I mean, for me at least, you know, I'm an audio nut. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile or anything like that. Like, I don't have a humongous surround sound system in my living room or anything like that, but I'm always fascinated by audio design, and it's the one aspect of game design that actually intrigues me the most, because it's always interesting for me to hear how sound designers come up with the sounds that they use, or why they choose to use them in the spots that they use them in. It's always very fascinating for me. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but it interests me, you know? And here in Egypt, not only do the sound effects really stand out, but especially the ambient sounds. Oh! Nicely done. Okay, I can't use that. So let's shoot up here before we continue on with the level and grab another... What is it up here? I think it's a med pack. I'm a little bit unfamiliar with what's where in this level. It's always kind of... I normally have to rediscover quite a few things, with the exception of the artifacts and the relics. Though there is one artifact that is pretty easy for me to miss sometimes, which we'll get to here in about a couple of minutes. Oh, wrong button. But for now, let's kick off another cutscene. Oh, look at that lighting effect. I love how it gets brighter as she adjusts to the lights. That's a nice touch. Don't worry about him. He's harmless. But he may or may not be. Don't worry, just back away slowly. There you go. Offer him a gum stick. Oh yeah, he's a not beat. Oh, and now he's a not B2. Now, if the crocodiles move fast, these guys move even faster sometimes. These motherfuckers are dangerous in tight quarters. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to dealing with multiple sets of these guys... Oh, that was a close one. Did you see that shit? That was awesome. I love that little slide that she did there towards the end of it. Fucking cool. But anyways, as I was saying... Yeah, see, I can get derailed so easily. When you've got multiple groups of these guys, which there may... yeah, fuck it. I mean, if you're watching this, you've probably already played it. But if not, I did warn everybody about spoilers. When we get to the sections, when there's multiple groups, or a group, I guess, of those particular enemies, the adrenaline dodge is a must, as far as I'm concerned. Alright, what's down here? Well, there's that. Gonna need that later on. Yes, we will. This set of levels is probably the one that's the most faithful out of the whole game to the 96 version. There's some slight changes, especially in the last level of this game. Or not game, but... There's a lot of changes in the last level of the game, but in this set of levels, the last level probably has the most changes done to it, but it's just to reflect Lara's new abilities. And I think I actually quoted the director verbatim on that just now, but I mean, it's true. You can't really phrase it any other way. You know, she's a lot more acrobatic in this game than she was in 96. And the Egypt levels adjusted rather nicely to that. Alright, so this is the artifact that is pretty easy for me to skip over at times, just because I always forget the motherfuckers down here, because it's pretty well hidden. The first time I played this level, I never thought to go behind the Sphinx, you know, and see what was up there. I just saw that right there, and you know, you look and you can't really tell that that nook is there until you get to that angle. Pretty well hidden. Nicely done. Oh wait, okay, that's the way I want to go. Unfortunately, this is one of those set of levels that doesn't really benefit anybody, you know, in terms of if you've played the 96 version, you know exactly what to expect here. And if you haven't played the 96 version and have only played this, when you get to this set of levels in the 96 version, you know exactly what to expect after about maybe 10 minutes of exploring this level right here. It becomes pretty apparent that it's a... what is it, a 1-to-1? Whenever something's exactly the same? I don't know, but it's so similar that there's just not enough to differentiate it and keep it interesting for both types of players. I mean, it's an interesting level, don't get me wrong, but there's no surprises, I guess I should say. With the exception of what is missing in Anniversary that is present in 96, because there was quite a bit of stuff trimmed out, but not enough to make that significant of a change. So I suppose it wasn't really quite a bit of stuff then, was it? It was just kind of a few things. How about that? There's a few things missing, man. Alright. Those guys are having a little conversation down there at the end. I don't know if you can see them or not, but if you go slow, you can draw them out one at a time. And... sorry for breaking up your Black Panther party. There we are. These guys are motherfuckers in high groups too, which happens in this level. I didn't particularly find that section to be enjoyable. I mean, it's a challenge, don't get me wrong, and it is fun to play, but it's not something that I particularly look forward to whenever I'm playing either the 96 version or this. I get to it and I'm always like, okay, here we go. This is cool though. I love the idea of these moving statues. In Egypt, this set of levels really does have the best level design out of the whole game as far as I'm concerned. In fact, probably out of the whole series, it's my favorite set of levels. Very brilliantly designed. Everything serves a purpose, and it's all connected in a way that just works. And I think there's another one up here. Yeah, there he is. Now, when you get a group of those guys, it's probably not really advisable to rely on the adrenaline attack to take them out. They just move too fast and hit too hard for that shit, as far as I'm concerned. But maybe I'm a minority on that. And that's perfectly fine if I am. I'm okay with that. Did you see the dirt on her elbows there? I love how she gets dirty when she's rolling, man. That's so cool. That's a nice little detail to throw in there. Okay, so here we go. Oh my goodness. Try it again. Try again. And hurry up. There we go. Success. There's probably going to be a few of those edits in this episode. Because the area in the middle that I was talking about getting hung up on the time trial with, you know, it either goes really good or really bad. It's one of those areas where it's a little bit frustrating on a replay whenever you go back and fail it, because it's just a pain in the ass to do over and over again. Again, that's just my take on it. What do you guys think? I'm sure you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But I will be playing Captain Obvious and pointing it out when we get there, because that's what we do around these parts. That's how we handle things. We don't talk about shit unless it's painfully obvious for everybody to see. Now, I'm trying to make it interesting for everybody that's played these games. I get the feeling at this point in time, as long as both the 96 version and this version have been around, which is 20 and 10 years for both, respectively. Well, 96, 20, anniversary 10. You know, I think everybody's probably played these games. But if by some chance you haven't, you should. Because damn, this is good stuff. And that's not what I want to do. Okay. How did I let that hang me up? Oh, that's what I want. Yeah, yes. A lot of timing elements in the Egyptian levels. Which I can honestly say I'm not really a fan of, but yeah, whatever. Oh, get off of him. Oh my goodness. Crocodila. And now we'll play it safe and play it like an asshole. And snipe. Snipe, baby, snipe. See, that's not fair at all. I shouldn't be able to hit him, but whatever. It works. And what's back here? Oh, med pack. I've always found it strange that this little nook has been right here the whole time, but there's nothing there except hieroglyphics, which if you want to read hieroglyphics, I suppose you might get a kick out of that. And I just saw something back in this little tunnel that the first crocodile came out of, so let's take a look here. Hey, look at that. I totally forgot that was there. I've walked past that thing several times. It would have been cool if they'd put something in these little squares right there, because those look like seals of some kind. And it, you know, not a seal like you'd find in the Arctic or anything like that, but, you know, a door of some kind. And it would have been cool if you could pull one out and there was a secret behind it or something like that, but no, doesn't happen. Oh, that's right. All the way down. All the way down. Where's the fish? Where's the fish? There's the fish! Big fish, little fish swimming in the water. Come back here, man. Bring me back my daughter. And I think that's all we've got down here. There was a couple more things in the 96 version. Again, if I'm remembering right. So this is the part that will kind of hang you up the most on a time trial, as far as I'm concerned. Not doing that, but the later part of this particular section. Although it is pretty tricky to grab this little outcropping right there, or that mechanism, I guess. It's not really an outcropping, is it? I mean, there's an outcropping above it, so maybe technically it counts, but I don't know. I don't know anymore. And now that I talked about the fish, I've got that fucking PJ Harvey song stuck in my head. Which isn't a bad thing. I'm a fan, so. Alright. Oh, that bastard's got some weight to it. And that's one of those things where you wonder, like, okay, so what'd they do? Did they drop, like, a cinder block from the roof of a building and then have somebody on the ground with a microphone, like, standing next to a red X on the ground or something? You know? Like, how did they do that? How'd they get that one? And then just add some effects to it afterwards? I mean, fascinating stuff, man. For me. Again, I'm probably the only one, and that's fine. I have come to accept over my years of playing and discussing these games with people that I'm just infatuated with things about them that no one else is for some reason. So I'm used to being the outsider in terms of what is clever and what's not. And that's probably not the proper way to describe it, but that was what popped into my head, so we'll roll with it. Yeah, that's the portion right there that is pretty damn tricky on a time trial, because it's very fucking easy to miss grabbing that mechanism right there. That little scarab thing on the wall. I have no idea what the fuck it's supposed to be, but that little thing on the wall. Oh, shit. And we missed it. God damn it. I was scratching an itch on my forearm. I guess I'll just have to suffer for my art. Alright, let's get back over here and try that shit again. This is Impractical Door Opening Mechanism number 77, by the way. There we are. And nothing around. Okay. Ordinarily, there'd be another mummy, because it's not easy to tell in this version, you know. But ordinarily, there'd be another mummy that we'd have to deal with on the way up and out of this area. But he's been removed for some reason. Not sure why. Never have read any reasoning or explanation of that. Impractical Door Opening Mechanism number 78. Alright, so what have we got to work with here? Well, we've got 3 artifacts, one of which is collected, not complete, and then a relic. So let's go for the second artifact here. And do a little bit of the wall run. And then get our Spider-Man on. See the crocodiles down below. I love these kinds of segments. I really like using the grapple to swing from one point to another. It's kind of interesting to me how there are so few of these kind of segments in these games where she's got the grapple. Even in Legend, there was only that one level, which was Nepal, I think it was. Towards the end of the Nepal level, you had a segment that was pretty similar to this. I think it may have even had the exact number of grapple points, just the 3. But then, you know, when you got to the Lara Croft series, Guardian of Light and Temple of Osiris, I think there was quite a few sections in that game where you would have to wall run. But here's the shiny for my lady, Lara Croft. If she'll pick it up. Yeah, we're just gonna ignore those crocodiles. They got nothing on me, and we've got shit to do. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do, because that was gonna happen. Well, that was interesting. This area right here is kind of a challenge, too. This is what I was talking about with the groups of panthers. How they're pretty fucking dangerous in numbers more than 2. So let's go down here so I can show that off. Well, let's check these first. Okay, yeah, I can't pick those up. Yeah, fuck it. We'll go with the magnums for these guys. Where's the other one at? I know he's down here. Oh, he's back in the little nook. With a buddy! Oh my goodness, I actually got him. I mean, normally whenever you're dodging, then the other one will go ahead and get you. Oh, Jesus. Just like that. I totally forgot about him. But that's okay, because they make up for it with a med pack, which we're not going to use. Because the checkpoint is right fucking there. In fact, I think it just triggered, didn't it? You stay down. Yeah, I'm trying to see. We can skip over these guys if I can remember how to do it. I think I want to jump backwards off of this as fast as I can. And then jump up. Yes. Beautiful. I'm actually shocked that worked because it's 50-50 for me. Sometimes it does and other times it doesn't. It's very nice of the ancient Egyptians, and all of these cultures really, to prepare for the future by installing all of these grapple points in random places. Very generous of them. They didn't have to do that, but they did. God bless them. It's almost as if there was some form of life that came from the stars in a shiny ship and said, hey, you know what you're gonna need one day? That's right, buildings. And you know what needs to be in those buildings? That's right, rooms. But what needs to be in those rooms? You guessed it, Frank Stallone. No. Again with the ancient aliens. I thought I was done with that shit in St. Francis Folly. Sorry. Oh! Let's see if we can jump over him. Oh my god. No, we did not. That went fucking terrible. Shit. Oh, man. Because every once in a while, I've been able to pull off an adrenaline dodge move where you jump directly over the enemy. Because, you know, you can go in any direction you want to. It's just jumping over them as they're coming at you is a little bit tricky. But I want to see if I can pull it off. Because it's always very satisfying and fulfilling when it works right in the way that it's intended to. And it looks fucking cool, too. So let's see if we can do that. I want to do it at some point in this playthrough. Here we go. Yes! Oh, and fucking missed him. Alright, let's try it again. There we go. Fuck yeah. I am happy with that shit. That was fucking sweet. Alright, let's get the third artifact while we're here. And, oh, god damn it. Keep running. I didn't mean for you to stop. I was trying to swing the camera around so we could do the backwards jump like that. Except land it and not miss. I'll tell you what, we'll come back for this. Just remind me it's here so we don't have another St. Francis Folly incident. Because we got to go back that way anyways. So it's no biggie to put it on hold for the moment. And this is what I was talking about, how they're brilliantly designed, the levels in Egypt. Because now we're retreading the same ground, only we're doing it at a different elevation and with a different purpose. I think it's cool. It's a brilliant reusing of the environment. And I don't recall if that particular element was in Tomb Raider 96. I don't think it was, though. I think originally you just jumped on the trays and went from tray to tray for something, but probably this switch here. No, not that, because that scarab wasn't in 96, but I'm sure there was a switch that you were going for. No, actually, I think it was just a way out of the room. For some reason, and I'm probably wrong on this, let me know if I am, but for some reason I want to say that the original statue design of these guys, the way that you got out of a room was, I think you couldn't actually jump on the plates or the trays that those guys are holding out until you released some sand from a higher elevation. That's what I want to say, but I'm probably wrong on that. And I know that there was... What I'm trying to say is I think there were two spots in the original Temple of Khnum, which was the city of Khnum. I think there were two spots where you had to lower sand down. I know about the one, which is what we're getting ready to do, but... Yeah, I just, for some reason, want to say that there were two spots to do that in. And that the tray statues... Oops. Were the second spot. Probably wrong on that, though. I don't know. It's been too long. Again. Damn it, Lara. Oh, I hate this part. See, this is what I don't like about the wall running. I always have problems with that fucking shit. Trying to jump backwards. I always do it when I'm not meaning to, and then when I want to do it, I can't do it at all. So... Oh! Barely got it. Sweetness. Alright, so let's go for the artifact. Thankfully I didn't forget it was there, though admittedly it hasn't been that long, and my memory's not that bad just yet. You can kind of see it over there. This one took me a while to figure out how to get to as well. When I first played this game. But when I did, it was like a revelation. Alright, so we want to go back to that. Do a quick run. Oh! And cue the chime. I'm wondering if I can grab those by jumping from up here. But I'm not gonna risk it. We'll play it safe. Oh, and that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to grab that little outcropping that we jumped off of to get to that grapple point, and essentially just kind of retread the same ground to get back to this part here. But this will work, because I was hoping to avoid having to wall run backwards. You know, wall run and jump backwards again. I was really trying to avoid that. But we got it, so it's all good. There we are. So there's, in the original game, I think this would be the first sand dropping area. And then I think those statues would be afterwards in a different spot. But again, I'm probably wrong on that. It's been way too long. So it's purely speculation is my point. Or on my part. At my point. What the fuck? Come on, Winter. You're wide the fuck awake now. Why are you having such issues speaking? What's the matter with you? Impractical door lock number 79. Oh, get up there. And another good spot for Laura to play the asshole and snipe enemies. Because that's what we do. Alright, so this little fucked up flower looking thing is going to get 2 cups of coffee. So let's find the cups of coffee. Yeah, that's the glass of beer. There's the coffee cups. And grab your coffee, by the way. I've got mine, but I haven't had a chance to drink it yet because I've been so busy playing. But bet your ass when we wrap up here in a little bit, I'm fucking going for it. And the little DNA strand is going to get the penguin on a platter. So there's Mr. DNA. There's the penguin on a platter. Alright, so far so good. And what's back here? Oh, it's a panther! I never would have guessed. And the knife is going to get the fishbowl. And the knife starts on the fishbowl. Okay. Cool. Yep, last one. Okay, sweet. And the stork gets a glass of beer. So let's get this guy a drink. And these probably aren't supposed to be glasses of beer, cups of coffee, and a penguin on a platter, but that's what they've always reminded me of. What did you guys think they were the first time you saw them? You know, when it comes to things like that, the hieroglyphs in the Egypt levels, I'd be very curious to know how accurate they are, and if they are in fact, well, I mean, I'm sure a good majority probably are actual hieroglyphics, but I'm kind of curious if they actually say anything, or if there's a lot of nonsense ones that they just kind of made up just to have them, you know? I've never seen anything on any Tomb Raider forum that I've been to discussing them. And I know there's people that study archaeology that play these games, because I've spoke to quite a few over the years, but no, I've never asked them. You know, it's always just been casual conversations on forums. Mr. Relic, what have we got here? You found the mummified cat. With the cult of the cat goddess Bast, also known as Bastet, becoming popular in late period Egypt, cats were often mummified and sold to pilgrims who presented them as offerings to the goddess. Now, years ago, I knew a guy that had a slightly mummified cat. Now, before you start like thinking improper thoughts or mean thoughts about him or call PETA on me for this guy's name or anything like that, let me give you this story. So one day, this guy was walking to work because he only worked like 6 blocks from where he lived. So he never drove. He always either rode a bicycle or walked. And he was walking one day and he happened to look in the roadside ditch. And there was this dead cat laying there that had been there for so long it was dried up. And all the internal organs and whatnot had rotted away, and enough little bugs had kind of burrowed their way in there, they ate them. This is going to be graphic, by the way. I probably should have said that before. Sorry. Not to gross anybody out or anything like that. So this cat had been laying there for so long, it had got dried up by the sun, because it was the middle of summer at that point, and it was like perfectly preserved and dried out. You know, obviously the hair had fallen off and shit like that, but the skin was exactly like the Egyptians would do for a mummy. You know, all the organs were removed. It was dried out. The skin was still intact, a little bit shrunken, but still intact. And it was posable, man. Like he, you know, the way that its legs were kind of outstretched, he was able to stand that fucker up on the little thing above his fireplace and put it on display. Which is a little bit morbid of a display, don't get me wrong, but this guy was kind of strange sometimes, so it wasn't really too unexpected to walk into his living room and see essentially a halfway mummified cat on his, you know, fireplace. It was just one of those things where you kind of see it and you're like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I can see why he's got that, you know? I mean, he was a cool guy, don't get me wrong, and he was a nice guy, but it wasn't out of character for him to have something odd such as that for homeroom decor. But every time I see that mummified cat relic, I think about that guy. So there we go. Temple of Khamun complete. I'll see you back here on episode 9, I think? Yeah, 9. We are just over the halfway point of this game. So, it's coming to an end fairly fast. 3 hours and 43 minutes in so far. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Anyways, see you on the next one.